Alright, so we're going to keep it on with the videos. This is going to be a story time, which I don't do. And I know you guys don't like when I do story times up against a backdrop, but however, I am knocking several videos out at once, so you ain't got much of a choice. So anyway, this video is going to be entitled, The Time I Dated a Rapper That Had a Wife. I usually, you guys know I do not talk about relationships, and if I do, I reference them, but I don't talk about specific people, and we're not going to start now because I don't want to get sued. But we'll go back to, I think I was about 19 or 20, and I was in Hollywood, going to parties I had no business being at, making friends, and just having a good time, just being young and fun. And at the time, this particular rapper was one of the hottest rappers that were out at the time, and he was cool, and everybody loved him. And I happened to be at a friend's party, and he approached me and asked me, you know, all these questions. Now, around this time, I was single, ready to mingle, acting stupid, and didn't really see anything wrong with it. Because, again, you believe what people tell you. So, we get to pretty much dating at this particular point. So, we're going out. Of course, we're not going out in the daytime. Of course, we're not going out to no events together. I'm there at the event, but I'm definitely part of the entourage and not part of that, okay? No. So, this went on for about I want to say about 4 months. And at the time, he had I remember specifically, he had to go to New York for some appearance on some late night show. So, I'm not going to give you guys, if you guys know how old I am, y'all know what year this is, but I'm not going to give you guys years and points because people like to connect dots. But anyway, I remember him going to New York, and we had a falling out before he left because someone that I used to date kept calling me and that whole thing. So he was pissed off about that, which is quite funny. We had got into it, and during this time, I was literally like fresh out of beauty school, just living life and having fun. I didn't really have any direction in which goals I planned to go or be in, or it was nothing like that. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to be out in the limelight. I just wanted to be out with my friends and have a good time. And that's pretty much what it was. So he started to feel a certain way towards me. And at the time, I really didn't feel the same way. I just thought it was cool. And who doesn't want to date a rapper? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you feel, like, who don't want to date a fucking rapper? But, you know, the funny thing about it is that during this time, his entourage was very aware of what was going on. I, however, did not do my homework to know that he was engaged, and I didn't know that. So apparently the engagement was on hold during the time that I met him. That's why I guess it was never brought up to me. I really didn't care at the time about what was what, but I didn't know. If he would have told me, it would have been a different situation because, again, I'm just not that type of person. Even at 19 having fun, I just didn't feel that it's not that deep. But he didn't say anything. So while he was in New York and he was doing his appearance on that particular show that he was on, they asked him about the union that would have eventually come forth. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, you know, we heard that you're engaged. And he was like, yeah, I'm happy and life is great and she's amazing and all of this stuff. And literally I was flabbergasted. Like, you said who? Like, again, I had somebody who just wouldn't leave me alone, and I felt in the moment in which he did that, he was trying to get back at me. So I took it as literally like, all right, he's just mad, so he's gonna say this on TV because he's mad at me. And I remember him texting me saying, make sure you watch tonight, and that kind of was it. Because we were not talking, like we were really on some, I don't fuck with you right now. So I was just kind of like, okay. And really, honestly, at the time I was still in love with my ex-boyfriend at the time. So I didn't feel as if this situation was going to be anything serious because the way in which we were living, it wasn't serious. It was at night. I'm part of this. I'm the hairstylist. I'm this. These are the things that I just didn't see as a real relationship. So when you do start to date somebody who's in the limelight and they have this big situation going on, you do start to feel kind of like the help after a while because you're going to always be labeled as the friend. You're never going to be able to walk that red carpet unless he's ready to do that and he's not about to commit career suicide at the time for me. Just didn't work. So I just thought it was just me having fun and me being cool, and he was taking it a little more seriously than I would have liked to take it. So that's kind of the source, without getting too much into it, that kind of was the source of the argument. Aside from my ex-boyfriend, it was kind of like, you're not taking me serious and I'm serious about you and this is that, and I'm just like, you're cool, I care about you, but I'm not there. And at 19, 20, I was not there. Only person I had been with was my boyfriend at the time. So it was very hard for me to detach from him and then go to someone else, no matter who you were and how much money you had. He comes back to LA after his little appearance. He's back in LA for about a week at this particular point. And my friend, I think I had a psychic at the time. If I'm not mistaken, I had like a psychic 2 or a psychic 3. I don't remember which one. It was the flip though. And I remember getting the text message from her with the link saying, because I had told her what happened. She was the only person who knew. And I had told her what happened. And she sent me this like, he's really like getting married. So I remember calling him after that. I sent him the message and then I called him right after. You ever be so mad at somebody, you send it and before they can even read it, you call it to be like, now what? So that's where I was with it. And he was just like went off. Like, how dare you ask me? How dare you question me? How fucking dare you? If you got this nigga texting you and all this and you gonna ask me about, like, as if I was a stranger questioning him about his endeavors. So I definitely was in the wrong for that particular point, because it was like, I just told him before he left that I didn't want to be him like that because I was kind of still in something else. And for me to question him about that, even though it was bigger than that, because we were just dating. Me and my ex-boyfriend had never talked about marriage. We were kids, but he was much older than me. We were still in, I was 19, 20. He was closer to 30 at the time. I ain't gonna say too much. So he went off on me. I remember seeing his fiance at something, and she gave me this look as if she knew that him and I had some type of relation that had went on. Like, she looked at me like, they say, I don't know, but they say some girls, they know when another woman has had their husband or boyfriend because it's a look that they give them. That's kind of the look that she gave me, as if I know what's going on, but you're not going to knock me off my pedestal. This is my lane. You're never going to be here. Like, she said all this to me by just looking at me. And I just felt like, really, like, this is how things run. So I remember they had ended up getting married, and I think they did it in a private ceremony or something like that. And it had been, I had talked to him. I stopped talking to him like right after I had found out. So it was like, I talked to him one more time after I seen her somewhere. And it would just, our friendship, our relationship, shit just kind of dissipated. We just didn't talk to each other. Then I ran into him at an event in Hollywood at the ArcLight. And he was just so chatty, and it was like people around, and he had never been like that. And he was like, I see you changed your number, which at the time I had transitioned from a damn sidekick to whatever the fuck I had at that point. I think I had a Helio at the time. I don't know. And he asked for my number and I declined, and I said, nothing that happened before will be this situation. And my feelings were hurt because I felt like I was getting to that place that apparently he was at, but it was weird for me to feel like as if he was there at that place, how are you at that place with a fiance? So I don't understand it. So I never knew until it was told to me. And once that was told to me, I was very just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to know parts of this, because again, I have a mom, I have a sister, I have sisters, I have, what I'm saying? I don't want to be that person. And I always talk about people who are like that, but this is kind of the situation when you're dating somebody who's not ready to be themselves. They're still trying to be who they are for the next person. So therefore they're doing things to oblige and appease other people, and then it ends up leaving your feelings and what could have probably been something great for the two of you kind of on the back burner, because I was like, I'm not doing that. And I remember that blowout that we had, he pretty much told me that I should just play my position and shut the fuck up and stay in a child's place. That's pretty much what he told me. And knowing how I am, and especially then, I don't give a fuck now, but I really didn't give a fuck then. I went at him so hard. But again, never in a situation where I've dated someone that was of stature or whatever the situation is have I ever threatened to expose who they are or what they do, because I always feel like that's another step in the wrong direction. If you guys are not going to be cool anymore, just don't be cool anymore. But whatever you do in the dark is going to eventually come to light. I'm just not going to be the person to bust the door down and shine the light on what you're doing. That's not my position. There's a lot. So I definitely I learned my lesson. And being so young, it was an easier lesson to learn then than it is now. So that's why a lot of times, if you guys notice on Instagram and stuff like that, and I see people exposing people, I think it's whack. Because I've had chances to do that, and I just always feel like it's not. And again, Aaliyah has a song called, but it's, if you're the other person and you don't know that you're the other person in your relationship, sometimes that's how life kind of works sometimes, because all parties involved are not being honest. And for me, that was the problem. There was no honesty going on. And at the time, I really didn't care because my heart was somewhere else. My body was somewhere else. I just didn't really, it was like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's enough on that story. But I felt the need to share that because a lot of people always ask me like, oh, have you ever dated a rapper? And it's like, yeah, I dated a rapper and didn't know he was about to get married, unfortunately. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace!